Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Theorist, here with your host, JC Botero67. And there are a few little additional visuals here today. I decided to, kind of decorate my office a little bit more. I know I already have like the spike artwork over here, as well as the boom box that is R2D2 and the headphones, which are C3PO. But yeah, I thought it would be cool to add some more decoration. So back there I have Cheryl Blossom from Riverdale and Yurio, of course, from Yuri on Ice, Funko Pops. And then over here I have my Tower of God figurines, which you guys have seen before. In one of my previous reviews, I had a little segment at the end where I showcased them. So you can't see them really well, but here are Bomb and Rock. Again, as I said, you've seen these figurines before. And then next to them are Kun and Andrasi, power couple. My number one ship from Tower of God. But anyway, enough of that. We will get right into this chapter 301 of season 2. It's still crazy to me that we're in the 300s now, but it's pretty exciting stuff. So this chapter kicks off with the image with which we last left off last chapter. Tongue twister. Try saying that 3 times fast. But anyway, it's this image of Bomb here with the thorn. Like I said, it kind of has an electrical little kind of halo around the thorns, or halos around the thorn. And then we see that orb that Bomb has produced. And based on young Zahard's observation, it is the Shinzu black hole sphere that is contained within this orb. And he even says, I've never seen that before. And so, that strikes his fancy, and he's like, go ahead and show me your true power. So then Bomb goes ahead and unleashes that power, and it's pretty amazing how powerful it is. And, you can only imagine, what more can happen in this battle now that that's being unleashed. So Kun Edwan is watching from afar, and here's what he has to say. Fighting Zahard's data in a Shinzu battle. I'm sorry. I know someone had pointed out to me to not say Shinzu. I am used to saying it that way because of the Tower of God project that I'm involved in, though I personally prefer to say Shinzu, but I'm losing the ability to say it. But anyway, let me start over. Fighting Zahard's data in a Shinzu battle, that's a remarkable achievement for such a short period of time. And this is Kun Edwan in his thoughts. Or maybe even Bomb is thinking this, and these are the words that Kun Edwan had spoken to him. But remember, that sudden growth of yours may only infuriate him. And so now we get into a flashback, so I'm pretty sure this is Kun Edwan. You sure look relieved. And then here's a little box that says, before the battle training stage. Have you gotten a little bit stronger? That's Kun Edwan. Bomb says, maybe. It's not like I've found something completely new, but I think I've found a clue about my own power. So then Kun Edwan says, do you mean you've achieved something more than putting a Shinzu black hole sphere in an orb? And then Bomb says, yeah, maybe. Something far more fundamental. And then Kun Edwan says, but there's something I want to tell you. You may have gotten stronger, but don't even think about facing Zahard's data in a head-on battle. And so Bomb kind of questions that. And Kun Edwan says, it's partly because of the difference in skill level between you and him, which makes sense. But he enjoys facing opponents who charge at him bravely. At first, he'll fight back, unenthusiastically, but once an opponent really stimulates him, he gets uncontrollably powerful. Which I feel like we've seen that already. And, I don't even want to imagine how much more he'll get, uncontrollable he'll get. But anyway, back to present time, but still, Kun Edwan's words, remember, it really begins when he shows his teeth. Which here he is showing his teeth, and you can see his orb behind him growing even larger and more powerful. So, all right. So then, in his own words, Zahard is saying, you're more fun than I expected, kid. And then, Bomb obviously notices that the flow of his Shinzu is getting stronger. And then he throws not Bomb. Zahard throws this powerful-ass attack called Zahard-style Shinzu Control Golden Bomb. And so, Baum is trying to, like, defend himself. I mean, I can just include a picture, I guess, instead of me trying to replicate that. And then when he looks up at hearing Zahard speak, there's this punch aimed at him, looks insanely powerful, because, I mean, as Kunad says, once, Zahard starts having fun battling it out with somebody, it's like, hey, his power starts to get uncontrollable. So this is a little bit worrisome, because we don't know if Baum managed to evade the attack on time, or, if he was able to block it at all. By the way, this attack is called Zahard-style lethal move, Rampage. And Baum, luckily, was able to, avoid getting hit. He actually, based on this observation by Zahard here, he compressed the smashed building with the power of the orb and defended against the attack. And then he says, but how are you going to block me if this gets smashed? Which he ends up smashing it. And, Baum is trying to do his best, but he gets flung back against another wall. But it's really cool because he managed to get a cut on Zahard's hand. I mean, that's pretty much nothing, compared to what Zahard done to him, but it's definitely something. What is worrisome, though, is that can trigger Zahard even more. So we'll see what happened here. But starting with Zahard, wait a minute. When you were being attacked, that Shinzu black hole sphere. Seeing that you're still alive even after getting hit with that attack, I must be right. The moment that my attack got close, you scattered the orb in the air and created a temporary barrier between my fist and you. So now going into Zahard's thoughts, something he's not saying out loud, that's very impressive. The fact that he's able to think of breaking up the orb in a situation where instantaneous decision-making is impossible isn't a coincidence. This isn't just a result obtained from training. This must be instinct. And it even says grin on here, so, good luck, Bob. So, anyway, we then go to what's called the hidden floor third space. Alright? So, as I said last chapter, Kun is here. Icarus is here. In other words, Rachel. And also with them are White and Rock. And, hey, Rock. Kun. Too bad there's no Rachel figurine. I'm sure people would totally bash that, though. But anyway, so it's really funny because, I can play with my little figurines, guys. So, Kun starts off, Alligator, why did you come with us? You still can't even use Shinzu properly. And then Rock responds, so what? Do you have a problem with that? I'll be way more powerful than you, Turtle. And then Icarus steps in and she's like, stop shouting and focus. We didn't come here so you two could fight. If you're going to fight, just go back to the bug room. And then I'm pretty sure she's the one saying this because as soon as you look into the mirror on that scale, you'll be killed immediately. So after I read that, I was like, okay, these mirrors are really interesting because, you can't look into them. It's like sudden death, or immediate death, I should say. Because, we had heard about that from the mirror at the end. So even though Kun Edwan's kids were going to go retrieve that, they can't look into the mirror, otherwise they die. And I know in that review I had said, I wonder if the mirror's covered up, because, that would suck to try and get to it and try and grab it when you can't even look at it. I guess, the only safe way to it really is, seeing it from afar, casting your eyes down as you grab it, and just don't look into the mirror at all. Because I honestly doubt it would be covered up, because even in a previous chapter when we saw Uraha beside the mirror and it had that little broken part to it, and BB3 had shown up, obviously I'm hoping he wasn't looking directly into the mirror, but it's the mirror was exposed, so that was a little bit worrisome now that I think about it. But yeah, with this one, because I know this mirror is supposed to, kind of get lured to where Kun and Ko are, because it's like Urek said last chapter. The mirror will see that something's up with this third space on the hidden floor. We'll try to, make copies and try to fix it somehow. And so that's the way to get the mirror. But, obviously, I don't think the mirror would be covered up, especially if it's being shown like this. It is shown like this because we need a visual representation. But yeah, so, it's just really interesting, how dangerous these mirrors are. They're in day-to-day life, they're very defenseless, like, you know, not offensive objects, but now here it's like you look into it, you die, basically. And then another thing that I want to say before we move on here is the fact that is that a kind of foreshadowing? By Rachel saying that, will that foreshadow that someone will die by looking into that mirror? Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be one of those four, but it could be someone from their group. You know, it could be like someone from Boro and Sachi's group. Could even be Andrasi. Could be Traveler. I mean, I don't want it to be Andrasi, but I'm just throwing examples out there. So, yeah. Anyway, enough of that. We now go back to the big battle of Zahard versus Baum. And so Zahard is about to, well, he's striking a punch at Baum. And Baum is still able to block it. I mean, you can see here, like, the sparkling. So that's got to deal with the orb, you know, or even shards of the orb, as Zahard had pointed out earlier. And so Baum's even saying, here, I can block him. He still gets flung back, but, you know, he did pretty well to, you know, put up with that. So even Zahard is commending him here. Amazing. You managed to defend yourself again. The more I increase my power, the better your defense gets. Plus, you also seem to be very lucky. So Baum's a little confused on that, until Zahard says, because there are cores everywhere you fall. And yep, sure enough, there is one right there. So then Zahard proposes, shall we try leveling up a bit more drastically this time? I wonder how long you'll be able to keep up with me. To be honest, I'm only now starting to get my hopes up for you. And so this eventually leads Baum to have a flashback. So this is part 1 of his flashback. So, like I said, starting with Baum. The me that hasn't been defined by someone else. I've never thought about that. I've always just asked other people about who I am. And yet, I'm right here. Whenever I met someone, I tried to find out about my past. I wanted to know why I had been born and where I'm supposed to go. When I first tried to find my power, I was so distracted by the fragments of my life that I couldn't know about the real me. And the longer that went on, the farther away I got from the real me, even though I was right here. And so now back to present time, Zahard has made his way to stand in front of the core, and he says, if you keep zoning out like that, I'm going to take this one too. And so Baum continues with his thoughts. That's right. Now, it's time to face this properly. Without any fear or rage, it's just an illusion created by a me who isn't me. So he's basically having this like whole self-discovery thing. It's like I said in, I think it was the previous chapter or the one before, but basically the fact that like, oh, you know, it's always like, there tends to be a theme where hero, you know, they kind of doubt themselves, I guess. I mean, I don't feel like Baum has doubted himself that much. Maybe he has. But anyway, like he's starting to like search deep inside to find his inner self, like real inner self. Plus the fact that like he's gaining more confidence, and so that's really pushing him to, you know, I mean, what we saw at the beginning of this chapter, the orb with the Shinzu black hole sphere within it. I mean, that was something that he wasn't doing before, and now that he's, you know, being more confident about himself, and I mean, granted, it was thanks to Kun Edwan that he was able to train and form that type of Shinzu black hole sphere within the orb, but you guys get what I mean. Like, you know, we're starting to see him be more confident and be, can't think of the right word right now, but anyway, yeah. I think it's really cool. And I mean, right now, this attack that he's throwing right here, I'm betting it destroyed the core, because the core was right in front of Zahard, and there's like a little, you know, kind of looks like something popped there. So he was able to stop Zahard from getting that next core. So now they're tied 1-1. So anyway, Zahard makes observation again, and he's like, his Shinzu changed. And all of a sudden, Baum is in front of Zahard. It's crazy. I mean, who would have seen this coming, like, in the last 2 chapters? But like I said, because Baum has found himself, like, deeper in and has gained more of that confidence, then, you know, he's able to do more stuff. You know, more impressive and powerful things. So now we delve into flashback part 2. And so Baum's kind of drawing this line. You guys will see here. He says, now, let's call this my power. Okay, he's setting an example. It may look small and insignificant, but I drew this myself. I think it's so cute. He's like proud of himself. I don't know why I wandered so far away in spite of knowing all this. I probably wanted to find some kind of grand answer. But now I know. Only that which I leave behind is proof of myself. So this is me. All right, and then he does this attack, which is called the 25th Night Style Extreme Black-Winged Butterfly Attack, that sends Zahard flying back, wrecks up like a shit ton of the ground that they were standing on. So it's really impressive. And on top of that, so that like mask thing that Zahard is wearing, like it, you know, kind of took off part of it. And so now one of his eyes is exposed. So, I mean, based on what we were reading about earlier, if that's going to trigger Zahard even more, this is going to get very, very interesting. And especially with a now more confident Baum, you know, throwing more powerful moves now, it's going to get really intense and really awesome. And so I want to end with this quote here from Baum. Now, I'm going to fight like me. I just noticed now, too, like the little devil horns forming. So that is yet something else that's new. Because, I mean, last chapter we left off with the orb and the Shinzu black hole sphere, right? And now we get these little horn things. So now I'm really curious what that is going to entail. And that is pretty much all I had to say about this chapter. I mean, I already talked about the mirrors, I already talked about like the whole like theme and how that seems to be happening with Baum right now. I mean, we're seeing him get stronger. He's able to hold his ground more against Zahard, even though he's taken quite a few blows, but yeah. And then of course he got rid of one core, so now they're tied 1-1. So yeah, definitely next chapter will be hella interesting. So yeah, as usual, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Let me know your theories below. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you for tuning in, as usual, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Not necessarily, now I can't even talk.